Hi everyone, welcome back to Swift with Serhan. Basically, in this episode, we will be fixing the UI. We will make a UI a bit more fancy, and also we will be covering the topics regarding to the relationship between the models. So, with that said, let's remember what we have done and what we have achieved in the last episode. As you remember, we were able to add item to our to-do list, and if when it is done, we could mark it either done, or we could also delete it with the swipe actions. Let's create a new item basically. Let's say wash the dishes. Okay, wash the dishes and save it. Once we save it, it's automatically added to the to-do list actually. So if we are done with this task, we can mark it as a done. And if we want to get rid of from the task, we can delete it. Or if we forgot to do it, we can unmark it as a and move it to the to-do list. So, and also we can delete the item from the to-do list as well. So what we are going to do, that we are going to modify our NotesListView here. Also, we will add a new child view for our project. I'm going to start with moving this add item model view to child view. Let's create a new file, new SwiftUI file. Add item model view. Let's import SwiftData. SwiftUI. And let's copy and paste the code from here to there. Not the preview, obviously. Copy and paste. Build the project to check and make sure it is building successfully. And let's run the project one more time, basically, to see nothing changed so far from the previous episode. And it's automatically under to do. And now we can mark it as done, and it's under done, and we can delete it. Okay, so as a next step, let's create our one more. We're gonna add one more child view actually. The reason why that we are going to add one more child view, I also want to replace the disclosure groups here with the sections, and also I want to move these text spacer and the date added information to our child view so that we can have more clean code. With that said, as I say again, let's say node item row view. So, and then let's import SwiftUI from here, and let's create our struct node item row view, inherit the view from SwiftUI, and we can create simple text in order to avoid the current compiler actually complaints within our project. Let's build it again so it is running. Okay, so let's continue with creating our node item row view. Here we are going to require a node item as a parameter, node, and also we will require context, which is a model context actually from SwiftData. Let's import also SwiftData, otherwise it won't be able to find it. And yeah, here we are going to move the swipe actions from NotesListView. As you remember, actually we have swipe actions here. We will move these swipe actions to our node item row view to reduce the amount of the code in the NotesListView, which is a parent view actually. So here what we need. We will need a V stack, vertical stack, and we will need a height stack as well within the vertical stack. So what are we trying to achieve? We will have the title of the task and also the date of the task as previously I show you. And also we are going to add one more status banner to our list item row view, so that we can see the status of the specific task is gonna be indicating the status of the each task actually. So with that again said, let's add the text for our task, which is going to be a content, basically the title of the task. Let's give some code font and some line limit free. I believe the line limit can be free. I don't believe that it will exceed, the task title will exceed the more than 3 lines. And also let's create our height stack. Within this height stack actually I want to include the status and the date added actually of the task. Currently here, when we are creating the node, we are setting the date, the current date. Additionally, in this format, I will include time as well. So here, text node is done. If it's not done actually, which is the default case when we create the task, it's gonna be marked as to do. Otherwise, it's going to be done. So this text will be our caption. Actually, sorry, will be our kind of a board, which will decide also about the color of the board. Will indicate the status of the task. So let's add some font. It's going to be caption. It's accepted, and we're gonna add some padding. And with that said, let's add some background color to our status card. Is done, and when it is done, when it is not done actually, when it is done, it's gonna be green, and when it's not done, it's gonna be red. So here, when this flag is true, we're gonna have the color of green with opacity dot 0.2, and when it is not done, color dot red with opacity 0.2. And we need to, instead of comma, we need a question mark, because this is a if statement. And let's give it a bit corner radius so that it will be more fancy UI. Let's add spacer, and also the date time this task has been created actually. Date added with format, date format style. We're gonna have this date time attribute with the day dot month dot year. So the day, month, and the year will be shown first, and hour and the minute. So we will show the hour and the minute. And yeah, our format, date format style attributes are done. Let's add a font, caption, and foreground color, secondary foreground color, which actually will be deprecated in the future episodes of the SwiftUI. So let's use foreground style, and it's gonna be secondary. So let's use our new UI without changing anything actually. Let's go to NotesListView, and in the head stack for each, instead of having this here disclosure groups, actually we are going to remove the disclosure group here. Let's replace them one at a time. Here will be an header and text to do, and yeah, let's correct this grammar mistake, and we will go through the to-do items. So we have list section we already created, and now we will have for each to-do nodes, and also ID will be the from the UUID of each item, which is actually a node instance. Let's just jump into the node and show you that ID will be the unique identifier of the model item. Here it is necessary to use actually the ID as an because when we iterate the items within for each list, here the list requires us to have an ID as a parameter, because every item has a different ID, so that the in the list, when the list is updated, it recognizes the IDs and it renders the page within this ID. Depending on actually the changes, when something changes, it checks the ID of the item and it renders the item like that. So also let's add node item row view. Here we're gonna pass the node and the context, which is actually the model context instance from here, as you can see. So also I would like to emphasize or take a look at why ID is required for this for each and list. Let's make a list ID required in SwiftUI. Why? Let's ask it. Members of the list must be uniquely identifiable from one another. Unique identifiers allow SwiftUI to automatically generate the animations for changes in underlying data. So let me share it with you as well. I just try to confirm what I have told you so that it's not wrong. Members of list must be uniquely identifiable from one another. Unique identifiers allow SwiftUI to automatically generate the animation for changes in the underlying data. So like insert, deletion, and moves, when we have a list items that is orderable, let's say we can change the order of the list items with this identifier. Actually list is recognizing the changes and then making animation and changing the order of the items. So what I'm trying to say is, for example, let's say orderable list SwiftUI. So, and let's take a look at the images here. You see this is an orderable list. Actually we can order the items here, so that's why it is important to pass the identifier as a parameter to list in for each, like we did here. So with that said, our first section, which is a to-do section, is ready. I want to also get rid of from disclosure 1, but I want to run the application before we continue to see if it is building correctly. Yeah, so we don't currently have any item in to do. Let's add one. Walk the dog every day, and when we save it, you see we have the title walk the dog every day. It's to do, it's not done, so you know. And we don't have swipe actions right now, but when I set the card, I meant this one actually. It is red. I want to make sure actually with you to understand. So now when it is false, is done is false. When it is false, previously I said actually when it is true, it's gonna be green, and when it is false, it's gonna be red. If I said something wrong, I'm so sorry. Let's clarify this. Now currently the status of is done for a recently created task is false. So when it is false, we take the right hand side of the column. Okay, so this is very important. This applies to we will create another UI. Actually, under swipe actions, you will see we will create this kind of Turner operator. Is it called Turner operator? 1 minute. Let me do a Google search again. If ternary operator. Turner operator, Swift. So the ternary operator in Swift is like this. So if you didn't know what is ternary operator, this is a good chance for you to take a look at it. So we have our first section. It's added, and let's get rid of from the I don't want to delete the NotesListView. I want to delete this disclosure group, which is going to be section, header, and text. Done. So done items will be here under this section. We will again go through the done nodes, and we will pass ID as a identifiable object or parameter. Let's say we'll say node in and node item row node, and we will pass the context. Here we don't have chance to show you, actually I don't have chance to show you the changing of the status, because the toggle status functionality will be included within the node item row view. That's why we pass the context as a parameter to our child view. So let's implement the swipe actions as well, but before that actually I want to change some stuff, because now as you can see here, the walk the dog every day, it's in the middle. Actually the text is in the middle. I want to have the alignment leading. I want to add some spacing to between the text and the haystack. And apart from that, currently we are going to add the swipe actions. Let's create our swipe actions, but before that actually I also want to add some padding between the corners. And just a minute, yeah, some padding here will be applied. Background, let's add background color to our card item, and system background, system gray 6, and corner radius, let's add some corner radius, And also let's add some shadow. So we're gonna have the color black with opacity of 0.1, and the radius is going to be 4 from X and 0 and from Y to 2. Before implementing swipe actions, actually, I want to run the code one more time to see everything is going well. Yeah, so we have the shadow within, as you can see, and we are adding it to the leading, and we also have gray background. Here, actually, I want to change the font of the status. Let's make it title 2 to see if it is a bit bigger. Yeah, it's too big actually. Maybe title 3. Or maybe something regular. Do we have an option? No. Let's see. Footnote, maybe. We can give it a try together. I want to also see what is changed. Okay, it's not it's not very much different than the caption. Let's have it like a caption for now. And also in this case, I want to get rid of from this white background color. So it's from the list as far as I noticed. I like this searching functionality actually in Xcode. So from the list we have list toolbar. Before toolbar, I would like to add a background dot clear. Let's see if it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work because we will need to add also scroll content. It's important to add the scroll content as well. Actually, what we can do is maybe system color system gray 6. Let's give it a try, this one as well. It didn't work. Okay, no problem. We're gonna have a scroll content background. It's gonna be the hidden, and when you add the system gray 6, it's gonna be the same background color in the node item view. Okay, it doesn't still work. Okay, I'm trying myself as well with you to make you understand what we are trying to achieve. Here now we have clear background, and we have our card as a gray background. Okay, so I also in this case want to complete the swipe actions in the node item row. And let's have these swipe actions and copy and paste from the project actually that I already implemented. Sorry, I am trying to make the short code and the video a little bit shorter. Allows full swipe, false, and yeah. So we will have to create a toggle status and delete node functionality. Func toggle status. We will toggle this down to if it's false from false to true. If it's true, true to false. And here we will need to save changes, but I will have kind of a one function for that, because for the delete also we will need to call save changes. Let's create a function, delete node, and also context delete node, and save changes. Currently Xcode's the code completion autocomplete is working very well. I really liked it. I would like to emphasize this one as well. And also, if you haven't known yet, ChatGPT also announced to new way of integrating IDE with ChatGPT. Basically, if you have a premium account from ChatGPT, currently you can integrate the ChatGPT within Xcode. I will leave the link below how you would be able to do it, but I don't want to waste your time right now to explain it. Okay, so swipe actions are done. Let's give it a try to if we can swipe and mark our tasks from to do to done, or from done to do, or if we can delete them. Let's build and run. Okay, so we can swipe, we can mark it as a done, and you see the status of cart has changed also. It's done now, and we can move it back to do, and we can delete it, and let's add a new item. And it's automatically added to to-do list, under to-do section, and we can mark it as done, and yeah, that's it. So we completed the UI changes. Actually, I will do a little bit more UI fixes on also modal, but we completed this fancy UI. I believe it seems better. So as a next step, I want to add the category, and I want to mention about the relationships of the models. In this episode, we will cover one-to-one and one-to-many relationship between the models. For the next episode, I'm planning also to implement many-to-many relationships. So let's create our new category model. So each node will have the category. Okay, this is the idea behind the scenes. So we are going to create our category model, and we are going to bind it with the node model. We are going to implement one-to-one relationship between node and category models. So in this case, basically I want to create an enum type. Which will keep our category types. So let's create a category type here, string, and it's going to be case iterable and identifiable. So why it is case iterable? Because we want to reach the all cases. We are going to add them into the picker so that user will be able to select it. So with that said, we are going to have case work, for example, to work, case personal, and we'll have for example what kind of cases we can add. Also we can add just a minute, we can add case important. It is important, for example. We can add case traveling, maybe. Any case that comes to your mind, you can free to add. Case idea, for example, something came to our mind during the traveling or something, we can add it as a category type. Any case you are free to add as you wish. Also, let's create our model class category, which is going to be again identifiable for the list item view. Let's import also SwiftData. It is important to because otherwise we cannot use the model macro. Let's use attribute. It's going to be unique. ID. This is again for the list view item ID unique identifier. Let's instantiate without getting it into the constructor. Category type row value, we can have a string, and relationship within the with node item. Come on, so var belongs to a node. Let's have our init method. We don't need this one. And actually, let's instantiate here UID, and bam, we are ready. So our category model is ready to use. Okay, but I want to explain you this what we are trying to achieve. We are trying to achieve one-to-one relationship. That's why we named this variable relationship micro variable as it belongs to a node, and also we will add a relationship parameter, macro parameter here as well. Relationship, okay, and delete rule. It's gonna be cascade, and inverse category dot belongs to var category, and most probably this is wrong spelled. Yes, this is okay, and let's fix this one as well. What is the problem? Since it is identifiable, we need to return also the ID string row value. We will return the ID as a row value because it's as I said, since we are going to use it within the list, it should be identifiable, and since we are going to use it in the picker, it should be identifiable. In the next step, we are going to create our picker at the item model view. We will be able to see why we injected the identifiable as well. So I hope you got the idea on one-to-one relationship, but before continuing, actually it's important to mention as well, since one node is going to take one category. So let's say you created wash the dishes node, and category will be personal, so one-to-one match should be in this case. Okay, we are going to create a one-to-one relationship for our model. So yeah, our category model and node model is binded with the one-to-one relationship to each other. Also, I want to mention about the Turner operator that I previously mentioned one more time, because I told you that we will create one more swipe action UI for our item, and it's gonna contain the Turner operator. Here, as you can see, since we copy and pasted the code, and I didn't want to make the video longer, I copy and pasted this part, but as I said, this Turner operator is also applied, and it is changing the text of the swipe action. When it is not done, it's gonna take the right hand side of the semicolon. When it is done, it's gonna take the left hand side of the semicolon. So it's important to understand these semicolons. Please also search on Google as I show you, and you will find the information. Okay, so with that said, actually we will modify our add item model view. It's important, we are going to add the picker there. When we enter the text, actually we are going to pick the category for our task, so that we will be able to show the category type within our list items. Okay, the necessary changes are to add the picker, but before adding the picker, I want to also a little bit do refactoring our add item model view. We are going to have the two closures. One will save, one will cancel, because I don't wanna handle both cases in one closure. So we're gonna have cancel or on cancel. Going to avoid type on save. We're gonna have avoid type again. We will have one more binding for category. Selected category. Okay, so it's not going to be actually optional, and it's gonna be category, also category type, not the category itself. Okay, it's not gonna be optional, it's gonna be normal variable. On cancel tabbed and on save. So here we will have a spacer, and actually I will remove the spacer from here. It won't be necessary. Actually, we will add it after the picker. Sorry. So let's have picker and select category, and selection will be binded to selected category, and for each category type, all cases, this is where we use the case iterable actually. That's why we injected the case iterable. Otherwise we won't be able to use the all cases here. You see, let's give it a try if we can without actually, because didn't yell us, the Xcode didn't yell us, but I believe it should yell. Category in and text category dot row value dot capitalize and the tag, we need to add tag as well, category itself. So what is it? What is the problem? Has no member of cases, you see. So we have to inherit case iterable to be able to add it in the for each to iterate it. Is it necessary? I mean, this is the native way of Swift that providing us this facility that where we can inject this case iterable to go in order to be able to iterate the items, but it's not really necessary. We can also create our own array so that we can also iterate within this array. But since we have this option, why not use it? So when you go picker, we will add some styling. Picker style is gonna be the wheel. Okay, and also we will have some padding for our picker, basically. So in this case, our item model view changes are ready, but I want to add the validation here actually. Disabled. The save button will be disabled if the new item text actually is empty. So why? Because we added a validation. Save button will be disabled if the text is not entered actually. So yeah, this is the to make the UI user experience a little bit more better for the user. Let's modify our node list view. We are going to have one more state here, state private var selected category. Okay, it's gonna be category type equal to work. I have given a default category type, and I will pass this to add item model view. Okay, so we have done changes here. Actually, before continuing, let's see binding selected category on cancel on save. Okay, so we're gonna have the selected category, and we will pass this selected category as a parameter. Okay, as a binding, and here we also need to refactor our closures. Here we'll say on save, do this, on cancel, do this. So here what we were doing, we were actually implementing the saving option. This won't be necessary anymore. So what we were doing actually on save, we had on complete. Actually we were checking whether the new text is empty, which will not be the case anymore, because when it is empty we won't be able to click on save. But we need to make it empty, but we are also going to have the category. So what we are going to do, we will define the node here, node content, and we will also have the category. We will define instantiate the category here as well. Category type row value, which is going to be selected category dot row value, and it will belong to a node previously created, and we are going to insert the category itself, and yeah, this should be do the trick. Here also on cancel we are going to is presenting model will be false, so that we will close the model. I know okay, so the order is wrong, I think. Yeah, on save should be before the on cancel. It's important to have the correct order of the parameters for the constructor. Here what we have done, what we have achieved, I will explain it from the beginning. So in this case we added two different closures to handle two different scenarios. When the cancel button is clicked, it means actually we are not saving any data. It means that actually we are dismissing the presented model. Okay, so I wanted to have this logic separated. When the on save is clicked, we also added a validation here. The button is disabled when the text is empty, so user won't be able to click save button if they haven't entered any text. Okay, when the save button is clicked, we will also again close the model by setting is presenting model false. As you know, in order to be able to show the sheet, we need to bind the state and make it true false to be able to present and dismiss the sheet. When the save button is clicked, we are creating the node instance, an object, actually an object from the node within the new text entered. Okay, and also we are creating a category. Okay, it's important, it's really important. They have to be separated. We firstly create node and then after category. And for the category, we are setting the node that this belongs to. Okay, as I mentioned before, one-to-one relationship. And we are only inserting category. And SwiftData is smart enough to understand when we insert the category, also this category belongs to node, and it's also inserting the node that we created to the database, and we are saving it, and we are setting the new text to the empty again. I hope it is clear for you. And as a next step, before actually trying, we have to make one more change on our UI. As you remember, in the node item row view, okay, we added the status, either it is done or to do, okay, to our items, list items. Also, in this case, okay, we have to add the category to show the category, which category the task belongs to. So with that said, actually, it's just the text actually that we are going to achieve. Okay. Let's do it like this. I will not copy and paste the code. I want to create it with you. So we will have if let category, node category, okay, is valid, category row value type, which is actually the string that will be saved. Okay, we will have head stack here, text, we will have text. So what we are going to do, category, and this will be like a, it will be indicating the, the category, is equal to this one. So we're gonna have font as sub headline, and we're gonna have foreground color, which is foreground style actually, because foreground color is going to deprecate, be careful. And also we will have a text which will have the category and foreground style secondary. We will change it, just a minute. Let's have it sub headline again, sub headline, and foreground style, in this case we can be primary. I will give it a try actually. And also we can pick the color depending on the category type, but in this case we will not go any further about the UI. And also I want to add some padding. It's gonna be 6, and some background color to category, and color dot blue dot opacity with 0.2, and and foreground style is primary, which actually I want to give it a try. And also corner radius is gonna be 8, and let's run the code and see what has been changed actually so far. So when you run the code, we will see on the UI obviously nothing changed. When we are going to add a new item, we can see that the picker is here already. So we will be able to select the category type for the task that we are creating for. Let's say we created a new task named as like a do not forget your meal, and it's gonna be for the work because we are going to take our meal to the work. When we save, we can see that recently created to-do item has category, and it should be under to-do section as indicated here, and the date time created 17th of November 2024 at 9:30 in the evening. So when we mark this as done, obviously it will be under the done section, or we can revert it back and we can take it back to to-do list actually. And also we will be able to delete it, and it's working fine. And let's relaunch the application to see whether it is saved or deleted. Yeah, it's deleted as expected. And let's create one more time personal task, um, personal task, and do your training at 6 p.m. after work, and save, and do your training at 6 p.m. after work. Task has been created. So so far so good. We have covered one-to-one relationship, but before ending this video, I want to mention about the relationship we created under the category. Under the node model actually. When we used actually the relationship micro in order to create a one-to-one relationship between node and the category, here we set delete rule cascade. So what it means that when you delete a node, it will automatically delete the category that it belongs to. Okay, this is just important information currently I covered. Obviously it has another option such as nullify. So when we delete this node, make the category nullified. So it won't delete the entry from the database, it will basically make it nullified. But it's for this specific example, I want to delete the category that's been created during the saving of node actually. So this is really important. And I think we covered the basic one-to-one relationship between node and category model. Also, we have fixed some UI. We made our UI a little bit fancy. And also, when we click on add item, you see the save button is disabled because there is no entry. And when we click on cancel, it's dismissed. The model is dismissed. So this is what we wanted to achieve to handle the cancel button in different closure here as expected. So it is on cancel, it is dismissing the it is dismissing the model actually. So that's it actually for now. Please do not forget to subscribe for the new content. Also, in the next episode, we will be creating one-to-many relationship and many-to-many relationship. And I would like to cover also some other advanced topic about SwiftUI. So please subscribe, turn on notifications, and you will be receiving notifications when I upload new video. See you in the next video.